listening to League Podcast, the League versus the Legend of GIJoe, the movie. I'm Matt Distro.
I'm not G.I. John. That goes to G.I. Josh.
G.I. Clay.
I'm the bad guy. All right. Anyways, yeah, so last episode we talked about the new Skybound Energon Universe, and they use characters from the 1987 GIJoe, the movie, the animated canon continuity, I guess, multiverse. But in case you don't know who these characters are, we'll give you a little rundown here. I'm going to talk about GIJoe, the movie, because there's some fun stuff here.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. Some meat on the bone. Apparently back then, De Laurentiis, did you call him? Call him John a while back. They wanted to release.
As I often follow up someone's name.
That's all right. We all do it.
My thing.
But I can't let it go. I got to bring it up, you know.
I know. It's just like.
Hey, no, wait.
Oh,
no,
I know, but that was what you said.
All right. So anyways, he wanted to produce, what was it? Transformers and GIJoe?
It was My Little Pony.
It was My Little Pony. I'm sorry.
Your Little Pony.
But it was because the Care Bear movie, My Little Pony. But it was because the Care Bear movie had done so well, I think, is what sort of inspired him to make these animated kiddie type movies. So they had this. So our Buzz Dixon, who we interviewed on a previous show, you should go listen to it. He came up with, when he was doing the Serpentor thing, right? He came up with two ideas. And Hasbro, they kind of actually picked them both. So this is like the first one they did with Dr. Mindbender and Destro finding all the DNA is actually one idea. And then in this one, they stick like it was a Cobra-La thing. So yeah, weird. I don't know. I just found that interesting. But they had Ron Freeman, who had written Transformers the movie, take a pass. And apparently then Buzz took a pass and he junked everything from the original screenplay. And it kept Nemesis Enforcer, the only character, the best one.
Yeah.
But and Cobra, he came up with this Cobra-La origin story thing, and based on Shangri-La.
Is that what they do in Shangri-La? Are they like Shangri-La?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, great. I disappeared for a while there.
Oh, all right.
You were talking that whole time, then no.
Oh, yeah. We can hear you now.
Buzz put that in there as a placeholder, apparently, and was like, oh, we'll fix this later. And then Hasbro was like, we love it. We love Cobra-La. And so that's what it stayed.
He was like, nah. You sure? Because I could do something. They're like, nope, that's it.
He literally was, fighting with them. Well, not fighting, but he was like, really? Really?
Well, it's not, it just doesn't make a lot of sense, right? You know what I mean? Like, what is Cobra-La? I don't know. Actually, when I read the Shangri-La thing, I was like, oh. Anyway, so they also didn't want a military animated kids movie. So they wanted to make it more sci-fi or something, I guess.
Yeah, that's why you do a G.I. Joe movie, not do military.
Yeah. I know. But anyways, so they also wanted, but like, the idea was the same with Transformers, which was actually supposed to come out after GIJoe, the movie, but it ended up coming out before. But the idea was this is going to relaunch the whole thing. This is going to be the start of a new direction of this show. But it never happened.
So the whole deal with Hasbro was also My Little Pony movie is in the trilogy of movies that were going to take the world by storm.
Yeah, but because neither Transformers nor GIJoe made any money, they didn't even release GIJoe the movie to theaters. They didn't even make the My Little Pony movie, I heard. I don't know. So
it was the Gem and the Holograms movie got scrapped.
Oh, I'm sorry. Gem, My Little Pony, Care Bears, they're all running together for me now.
Care Bears, totally different company.
All right.
I can't even fathom a Gem and the Holograms movie. I say that now.
Was it? Didn't they do a live action?
Yeah, there was a live action. I still can't fathom it.
Yeah, Kay Hanley from Boston band Letters to Cleo wrote the songs for that Gem and the Holograms movie.
well, crap, now I have to see it because I love her.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Everyone loves her.
Well, the other comparison with Transformers the movie here was that they wanted the PG rating, and so they were like, "Oh, we can kill somebody," because G.I. Joe, the guys always parachuted out on the shows. Everybody remembers that, right? And they didn't use bullets; they used the laser guns or whatever. But yeah, but now they have permission to kill somebody, and they were discontinuing the Duke figure to like, there you go, that's perfect. We'll kill that guy.
And Buzz always said, too, that he always wanted there to, even in the show, for there to be a little bit of consequences to the battles. Because he was in the military, it's like he didn't want to have G.I. Joe 110 where they mowed down a bunch of Joes, but he wanted there to be some sort of consequences.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, teach kids about violence. But like I said, Transformers the movie came out first. Optimus Prime died, and people were not happy.
Oh,
yeah, go back and listen to our Flint Dilly episode.
Yeah. So they decided to walk it back on the killing the Duke thing, but they did it in a pretty cheesy way.
So, like, did they already, like, film it having it be like he was dead? Because that's what I got from it.
Well, it's an animated movie, so they don't actually film anything.
They done it.
Thanks.
Maybe we'll get to that. Right? You want to just wait till we get there?
Yeah, we'll get
start talking.
You already
about
went there.
I know, but I'm not gonna.
But we'll get into it in more detail when we get there.
We're gonna circle back.
There we go.
Yeah. I want to start off. So first we have the cool, and this is the song. I feel like a lot of people probably. Yeah.
It's pretty rocking until the guy shrieks Cobra.
Yeah.
And it's
I like that part.
That's
a call and response.
Yeah, that's real funny because we put that on in the video store once, and I had totally forgot, and I did that high pitched laugh thing. That I can't control. It's just like
I love the high pitch laugh. Yeah. I agree.
I went into a little bit of a rabbit hole looking at and listening to on YouTube all the different versions of it, and I didn't know actually that the Legend of G.I. Joe comes from the first commercial or something, the first G.I. Joe commercial. But all the lyrics and stuff are a little bit different. There's probably 10 different versions of the theme song.
Wow.
Including
the version that has no singing on it, I think.
The guy singing Cobra is probably a good version.
I like the Cold Slither version the best.
You'll be joining us soon. Apparently, this was supposed to be a part of the movie, blowing up the Statue of Liberty, because the Statue of Liberty was having its whatever anniversary, I guess, or something around that time.
You don't remember that? The 1986 100 years of the Statue of Liberty, and they put gold foil on the
scaffolding.
Yeah, they have gold foil on the flame part of the torch, and everybody except for Durson gathered around the TV to watch the big ceremony.
I guess I did not. You're right.
And then Cobra came down, and we were like, "What the heck?
Well, this is weird."
Parachuted out of the sky, and there's kind of like I always get a chuckle because you could do like a GIF loop of that parachute Cobra guy with like mushroom stamping the camera.
Yeah,
my balls are coming right at you.
Yeah.
It was something I never noticed as a kid, and when I watched it this time, I was like, "Whoa!"
But anyway, so they don't. It's just a fun little showcase. Whenever opening,
I think it's the best part of the movie. Not gonna lie.
They do kind of. It definitely is. Prefaces kind of the one thing that I kind of noticed, all the old toys are no longer used. It's all like his tanks have been replaced by those other 3-wheeler things. What do you call
all the impractical military stuff? It's like open like cockpits and things, and you've got to lie down on your stomach to drive and everything. And and then you got to sit in a chair completely exposed.
Right.
I just thought what's better
helicopter where your head's so close to the blade.
Better Statue of Liberty scene, this scene or in the X-Men?
The X-Men? I don't know. They're both whatever. This is fun. I mean, I'm not, all right, this one. You got me.
Yeah, this one. 100%.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
This is a poll question. There's no right answer.
And it's like a fun.
Well, it just got 100% to none. So.
Yeah, Cobra Commander plants a bomb. Duke grabs it, flies it up, puts it on the Cobra ship, and then flies away. And then it's like, yo, GIJoe, the whole thing is the Cobra ship blows up.
The end.
Yeah, the end. The best part of the movie.
That's the best part of the movie. No Serpentor in it.
Well, yeah, I think that was they put this in there just to have, because the next scene, the opening scene of the actual movie is Serpentor and Cobra Commander sort of fighting and whatever, and they wanted it to be obvious that Serpentor was talking about the failures, including this one that we just watched, even though literally every battle Cobra has lost.
Yeah, Serpentor mounted a failed taking of Washington, D.C.
They've all failed. Every battle. You don't need to show us, they didn't blow up the Statue of Liberty. We've watched 2 seasons of the show. Cobra's never won anything.
One of my favorite parts of the movie is Serpentor dressing down Cobra Commander and then everybody just piling on. He's
that
like,
just makes
Cobra
me
Commander's
feel
like,
uncomfortable.
come on, guys. Come on, right? And they're like, no.
Because I often think about when something goes wrong, I think of Desperate saying, militarily speaking, Cobra Commander.
So that's why it makes you feel.
Yeah, I just, everybody's been in that situation where you're like, hey, can I have some help here?
Your friends are
And
going to
everybody's
back you
like,
up,
nah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, it is a little weird. Like when you think these guys are all on my side. No, we hate you. It must be how William Shatner felt doing Star Trek.
Well, artistically speaking, Joshua Lingle is a buffoon.
Complete and utter buffoon.
What about you? You never won anything either. You tried to control all the weather. I don't know. I mean, you're right.
Buffoons, really.
But I guess it's just a good setup. They don't care about Cobra Commander anymore. Meanwhile, while they're yelling, this weird blobby fish thing comes out of the water, and this lady gets out. Well, I guess we don't know it's a lady right now, but this masked figure gets out. But it is,
woman.
Yeah, it's a woman. It's Pythona. They're on Cobra Island, I guess I should say too. And she sneaks in, and they're like,
she throws a starfish on a guy's face or something.
Yeah, she throws a lot of weird stuff. Yeah, she punches a guy in the mask, and it sounds like flesh. I don't know.
Well, that's because it's her hand punching into the.
I know. So, it's subtly, not so subtly, Cobra Commander's like he sees her, but he's also like, this way, because he kind of wants them to come in and kill Serpentor. But wait,
one of the things I'd never thought of before is the fact that they totally just made this guy from DNA, and they were like, he is going to be the new leader. And you're like, Cobra Commander must be like, wow, what the I'm the leader. Like, what? Why? Why are we making a new guy? We're just making a guy from scratch.
Yeah, how do you're not going to find somebody or elect somebody. You're just going to make one. We're just going to make them.
Never really
it's a little weird.
I'd never really put the two together. The kind of Frankenstein of Serpentor. I never really connected those two things. Like you take DNA from all these different leaders. Pythona.
Well, in the comic book, right. But in the comic book, it was they actually took the bodies.
Yeah.
But I think on the cartoon,
too. But kind of it's kind of the similar.
The cartoon they used part of Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, that's right, they did. But they would just put a little device on the body and press a button. They wouldn't grave rob, which I guess they thought those little too grim.
Which Destro and Mindbender carrying out the Mummy. Go back and listen to all the Mummy in the Frankenstein episodes.
Oh, there you go.
And 48, issue 48, which is the one that has my teeth marks in it.
There you go.
But yeah, so I mean, in this one they did use this is like the TV show continuity, so they did use the DNA. But yeah, so Pythona comes in. She comes into Serpentor's throne room, and she tells him he says he's had dreams about her or whatever, because she says,
He's like, I know you from
he
somewhere.
Dreams about her, and he pulls his snake and gets her stiff.
Yeah, she comes into the throne room. She's, I'm on the throne.
Yeah, so anyway, she tells Serpentor, you got to find this broadcast energy transmitter thing for me.
She has a Star Wars hologram in her hand.
Yeah, I know.
And when they called it the BET, it always just made me laugh.
Yep.
Because the network?
Yep.
They've always had, like funny.
They were always progressive. I know.
Well, it's not. No, but it had the Vamp and the Mobat and the whatever,
And the HBO.
Sorry, it's now Max.
Yeah. Well, back then it was HBO.
It's Max Classified now.
Max Special Missions.
Max Power.
All right. Meanwhile, speaking of the BET, the Joes are testing it out. It's never quite explained what this thing is supposed to do. Duke just says it's good for the world's energy.
I thought he's going to solve the world's energy problems or something.
It's kind of like a Bluetooth or it's like one of those Qi power stations for your phone. It just broadcasts energy. And I think it's funny, like the little cutscene.
Microwaves everyone from the inside out. It's cool.
The cutscene between when they're leading up to going over to Mainframe and Tripwire, I think, who are like putting it together, or Dial Tone. But they go by Quick Kick, and he's telling some story, and he goes, and I told the guy.
Oh, yeah.
Drive all night.
We'll be there by morning.
Let's drive all night.
I said that.
John said that.
I said that in one of our shows, not our show, but one of my old band shows where there was a lull in sort of the activity. So I just said, I don't care if we drive all night. We're going to be there by morning. And the gung ho was like, that's
funny.
I didn't have a gung ho on stage. So only Durson laughed.
I know. I got that. I'm like, that's
too bad somebody from the audience didn't just get up on stage and start.
All right. So it's Cobra attacks, and they're, it's like it's a good battle, I guess, to show the toys, like we were talking about the Havoc.
The Havoc starts up on its own after they test the beat.
That's right.
That's the best. Come back.
It's started cross country's Havoc. Yeah,
and then they have to, he has to run the other way. Yeah, Cobra's coming, and they're like, they're coming for the BET. Fall back. It's like, wait, shouldn't we protect this thing? What do you mean fall back? But it's fine. So
different character they were just calling.
It's just Dial Tone, fall back this way. So Duke he activates the BET, and then it activates those little gun things. Do you remember? I remember those. Do you remember what they were called?
They sound like R2-D2 or something, right?
Yeah. And one of them had rockets, and one of them just has a machine gun, and I don't know what the third one had actually.
And they had like missile launchers.
Yeah. All right. But how would those have activated if the BET wasn't there? Why did you have these things if you can?
Yeah. What are these dead robots? Open and start them up.
Lug them out here into the snow. So, anyways, those rocket things sort of turn the tide. Meanwhile, Serpentor is trying to get the BET. Duke is fighting him, and he knocks him into it and electrocutes him, I guess. They don't really say. But...
Is this the scene, too, where they have, like, the TIE fighter sound effect, and you can hear Darth Vader's breathing at the same time?
Oh.
It's
definitely the scene with the TIE fighters sound effect, but
yeah,
I don't remember.
It's like you just get a little bit of Darth Vader, and that's it.
Oh no, that's so sad. Anyway, so they capture Serpentor, and then Cobra Commander is like, retreat, and they all, even though what coward called retreat?
He's like, what schmuck is telling
like he doesn't know.
I know.
Yeah. Right.
Wait, who? Which one of us said retreat? Oh, it's the guy that always says it.
Yeah, that's right. But he doesn't. He's like,
is that you?
But he's still he doesn't go like, hey, he doesn't fight back or anything. He's like, all right, we'll retreat. Let's go. But so, anyways, the Joes are like, we better not do that. We'll split the force. You go after him. Which is kind of weird. Literally never on the show, I don't think that they ever go after them after they Well,
it's because they only had 22 minutes on the show.
Yeah.
It got like 90.
Yeah, we have 90. Go after him.
This is movie length. Follow those guys.
And Cobra Commander says, I know a place here in the mountains. So the Joes are after him, and then there's these weird plant things all over the place. And then all these guys come out of the ground, they're in red, and they go, la, 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 la,
Yeah, I like to sing. I love to sing it.
and like they're really, even as a 12-year-old, I was kind of like, I don't buy it. They just beat up Snake Eyes. Like I was
Those
mad.
cartoon Snake Eyes. He's not as cool as comic book Snake
I
Eyes.
guess.
Oh,
But,
and by the way, I was listening to a watch along with Buzz Dixon, and he said that Hasbro considers the movie a separate timeline. So it's not part of, I mean, it is part of the animated TV show, but Hasbro considers it its own thing.
Like the alternate universe that Clutch and somebody else got.
Short
Steeler.
beams or whatever. Steeler, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna with like the good Baroness or whatever.
Yeah. I love
The
that
good
episode.
Baroness, yeah.
Yeah, the good Baroness.
Give me
Good
some of that good Baroness.
Yeah, like these Cobra-La guys and plants and everything. So whenever they captured all these GI Joes, including Roadblock and a bunch of other people whose figures are probably been discontinued. And Cobra Commander is like, hey, you guys are great. And then they're like, and the Nemesis Enforcer, we don't know that's his name yet, I guess, but he's the big guy with wings. And he just yeah, and he just slaps him. I love it. It's like a good backhand to Cobra Commander. But so we're kind of learning
right on his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we learned a little bit, I guess, about what that whole thing is about. But
We
yes,
know the Commander's a bitch.
yes. And they like he tries to run away. They capture him. So we didn't, take him prisoner. Meanwhile, Pythona is there again, and she goes up to Zartan and pulls a diamond out of her snatch or something. I don't know where this thing came from. You want to go find Serpentor? And he's like, sure.
A gem of that size answers all my questions.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Say no more. Say no more.
It's kind of funny. We have this scene where Duke and Hawk and a couple other people, Flint, are all there. And it's like, we haven't heard from Roadblock. It's been 24 hours. And then Flint's like, why don't I lead a bunch of guys to go find him? It's like, well, we were just talking about being short-handed. When are you taking more guys? But whatever. And of course, they say, yo, Joe. One thing I was thinking, like, it's a good thing I'm not drinking. Like, I'm sure there's a drinking game, right? For like, how many times I say, yo, Joe? Because you would be on your ass.
I was thinking, what a weird call that was. They're like, yo, Joe. Why didn't they say go Joes or something like that? That just seems like it makes more sense. Like, yo,
Yeah,
Joe.
where did the yo come from?
Why are they yelling anyway?
And in Rise of Cobra, they do the marine thing, which is like hooah. The hooah. Roadblock's always like hooah.
Like scent of a woman thing. So, anyway,
yeah, yeah, it is. I guess. Yeah, hooah.
Hooah, Joe. That's what
She was a hooah.
she took the diamond out of her hooah. All right, so we meet all the new action figures except one guy, but they call them the Rawhides. They're the new recruits.
Big Lob.
And, yeah, what is up with Big Lob? He didn't get a figure.
Okay. We should have asked Buzz
Yeah.
Dixon that. Maybe we did. I don't know. That was like 3 years ago. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
I guess Hasbro made one in 2010. They got around to
They're
Oh my
like,
God.
oh,
Timely. Very timely.
yeah,
it.
man. So anyway, he's just a big basketball player guy.
Who only talks in like sports metaphors.
Yeah,
As if
like
he's
narrating
announcing
a
his
game.
own plays.
Yeah.
Right.
He's doing his own play-by-play,
Yeah.
which would crack me up if like any one of you guys would just do that.
Just
do a
explain what you're
play-by-play.
doing.
Yeah.
And he pressed record and score.
He grabbed the pencil and scratched it behind his ear.
Oh, man.
The crowd goes wild.
He's getting up for something to drink, and he's back, and he's on the field
but there's a
podcasting.
foul for not asking about Monty.
So we also get, after all these years, they reintroduced Chuckles in that G.I. Joe Cobra comic at IDW, and we had a good time. We were laughing at that. But yeah, here's Chuckles.
It's where they got Daniel Craig's outfit for Casino Royale in the beginning there.
Oh,
It's based on... I'm lying. It's
the Hawaiian shirt.
yeah.
I love. He doesn't even. So like, he's supposed to be this undercover agent. He doesn't have any lines.
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's how
But he
undercover
does
is.
get to ride on the back of a helicopter.
Yeah, he does do that.
He does throw.
Picks up a missile.
Throws a rocket and it blows up.
That's something you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, seriously.
I always loved
Silent guy that can throw.
I always loved Law and Order for some reason. And Law and Order and Chuckles were in the same issue of G.I. Joe, Real American Hero. It might have been the Tom McFarlane one. When they're,
I think you're right.
And I always thought they were cool.
I drive the car, he finds the bomb. So he tries the other way, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Couple of dogs. We got Junkyard. We got Law.
Yeah.
We got what's
Sound
Snake
like
Eyes'
bats.
dog name?
Snake Eyes has a wolf.
Yeah, he's got a wolf.
Timber. It's a perfect morning.
Timber.
Face has got
Timber.
a parrot.
Not Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah, what's Shipwreck had a parrot. Yep. Anyway, so we find out through the course of this training sequence here that Falcon, Lieutenant Falcon, so he's already
Doesn't
pretty.
have a falcon.
No, you're right, he doesn't. But Hawk had a hawk, right? No.
I know.
Sorry, yeah, he had an eagle. All right, let me continue. Sorry. Anyway, he's not there, and they're like, "Oh, well, he said he had a date or something."
Let's go to the run some errands.
Yeah.
Wallpaper is Footlocker. Weird stuff.
Weird stuff.
But we got to Falcon, and he does have a date, and he's got a blonde lady, and he's showing her into this top secret military base where they have this prisoner and everything.
Did we go
That's
into the origin of Falcon and Hawk and Duke?
Well,
mention that
no,
when I was
actually, I did not. This is a good time to do it, though.
Oh, well, great. So originally, Falcon was supposed to be Hawk's son, but also I picked this up from Buzz's thing, but also it's online documented somewhere. So for some reason, Hasbro didn't want to go for that because they didn't want to have the general covering for his son. They thought that was a bad look. And so, you know, it's like Falcon and Hawk would have made sense name-wise, but they made Falcon Duke's half-brother in the story to kind of change that and have it so that Duke was defending his half-brother instead of like a general defending his son, which would have a different meaning to it. So.
Yes, a little less nepotism.
Mm.
Yeah, I did. That's very cool. I mean, it does make you think. Yeah, Hawk, Falcon, but it's better this way.
Chicken Hawk.
Chicken. So all right, Duke shows up and he throws out the lady.
He almost gets shot in the head.
Yeah, and he doesn't seem all that mad. He's like, "Hey, there's a lady here. There's a female in here, or whatever."
What are these females doing here?
Yeah. And then he fights with them. So yeah, like I guess you can get into. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just G.I. Joe. But like, the Falcon, Duke is yelling at him, and Falcon says, "I'm an officer, and I'm pulling rank." Holy shit! Like, you're an officer? Technically, he outranks Duke.
Yeah,
Duke is a sergeant.
How's that possible?
That's
Just
just silly.
How's the
Yeah.
screw up like Falcon?
Yeah, right.
I was never a big Duke fan. I was
Duke
always a
my
Hawk fan.
favorite.
Duke. Oh, because his name's Clayton.
I think maybe that's why. But I was always like, Duke's not in charge. Hawk's in charge.
Duke was the man. Whatever.
Duke was always
I like him
smiling no
now.
matter
He's
what.
grown
Going
up.
into-
Oh, good. Good. We find out, though, that woman was Zartan's sister, Zorana, the woman that Duke threw off the base.
Oh, yeah, there's supposed to be a nude scene here.
Yeah, what the hell? They were going to have a topless... Because she takes off her little dress and she's about to jump in the water. And yeah, she was supposed to be topless.
Zorana!
No, yeah.
I saw that they wrote that into the movie, but also why? Why
It's the
would it be a
80s,
topless
you know?
thing?
It was so
Yeah, I guess.
weird
Yeah.
that-
In the 80s and Don Johnson, I guess.
Yeah.
let's throw a topless action figure into
Little
this
red
movie.
Corvette
Much-
and everything.
Much like, you know, Transformers, they're swearing and stuff.
Yeah,
What
I
is
think
going
that
on
would
here
be-
with these movies?
Well,
It's like
the
that
swear-
scene-
We're trying to sell toys to kids, but let's make it a little more adult. Just
It's
in
like that
case.
scene in Into Darkness where she takes off her shirt for no reason.
Right.
That is-
Yeah.
Go back and listen to our Starter Into Darkness episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. I guess I remember when we asked Tilly, go back and listen. Okay? Listen to both of them. We did it twice.
It is.
So, you want a PG movie because you think if it's G, then parents definitely don't want to see it. Like they don't want to bring their kids.
parents definitely didn't want to see it anyway.
But I think they thought PG was at least a little better, like.
You get more screenings than a G.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Anyway, but I mean, the great thing on animation, they just drew them. They're just like, she's wearing a bathing suit.
So what's your guys' take on this? There's a part, I think we already passed the part, where Beachhead, and when he's fighting with Jinx, I swear that he swore. He says shit pathetic, but it could just be she could just be like, and like for the longest time, and they played it on TV, and I was like, oh my god, they're swearing on TV.
I was thinking he was just
Yeah, I think it's the shit, obviously, but maybe they were thinking like make it sound kind of like shit, so just because they're gonna say oh shit in Transformers. But I don't know. It's an interesting take. I think sometimes you put stuff in movies, figuring that you might just take it out when it goes in front of like the board or who does the ratings board, So, and you're like, oh, they don't make us take it out, then we did, and we get, a freebie. So maybe they thought they didn't notice the psh or shit, that shithead, that shit bird.
Or it's like an Airplane 2 when Shatner's opening the door and he's like, shh.
All right. So, anyways, meanwhile, Falcon, Duke told him to pull guard duty, but he's out hitting on Jinx.
There's supposedly they were supposed to have had previously dated, so it's a little bit. Yeah, I can harass this girl because she's my ex-girlfriend.
It's fine.
yeah, that makes it better. Yeah,
And it's 1987.
It was a different time.
it was a different.
Twas. Yeah, whatever. I mean, she's there,
The thing I like about this scene is he's exactly explaining as they cut to. They would have to go through 5 inches of concrete, and then they would have to have the special bracelet, and then cut to the bracelet and all this stuff. And he's literally line for line explaining how the dreadnoughts are getting in there.
Yeah.
And I like that.
So they go in, they rescue Serpentor, mostly because of Nemesis Enforcer again. That guy is like the MVP of this team.
He should be doing his own
Badass.
play-by-play.
Yeah. Why does
He should be
why isn't he the
Serpentor.
leader? Yeah,
Right.
right. He should just be.
He's
I guess 'cause
taller than everybody.
He can fly.
He doesn't speak, I guess, so maybe that would be a problem. If he wanted them to attack GIJoe, he'd just be like,
Then you just
Learn
put
sign language.
Google Translate.
there you go. And we find out when they get back to Cobra-La, we see Globulus.
You had
Yep.
that here, right?
I did. I had the 3-pack.
The other supreme leader of Law. How many
Yeah,
leaders do
right.
they have?
Seriously. Well, they can just make
Well, there's
another
like
one.
district manager and that sort of thing.
Yeah, vice president of operations.
Yeah, right. I am the COO of Cobra-La.
I'm the CFO, Destro.
Yeah. Anyway, Globulus, voiced by Burgess Meredith. and we find out, as we said earlier, that he put the idea for Serpentor into Dr. Mindbender's brain.
It's a pedestrian brain.
Yeah, rather pedestrian brain. And then another great Destro line, actually. There's only like 2 of them in the movie, but the other one, he says, "Didn't it ever occur to you that such a brilliant plan is beyond the capability, even your fine intelligence," or something like that. It's a line I think of sometimes. "Did it ever occur to you?" But yeah, so like they gotta work on getting this BET. So meanwhile, Falcon is being court-martialed, and then this is where we find out that it is Duke's half-brother, and he's like, "No, don't court-martial him." And they're like,
"He's okay."
Yeah.
And I guess it's General Flag is one of the guys, and they're supposed to be guys from the series that are high-ranking government people.
Well, they determine that Falcon will be sent to the slaughterhouse. Slams out his gavel, and everybody's like,
"No, not the slaughterhouse.
Not the slaughterhouse. We're going to have him in the mess hall tonight."
That's good, Falcon.
So we go from one trial to another. They have the trial of Cobra Commander.
Yeah, this is kind of phallic. He's in a clam. There's a snake in a clam, right?
Oh,
Cobra Commander, you're a bomb. Cobra Commander, you're a bomb.
We get the whole origin, and it's the same one as they used, or very similar to what they use in the comic book, the new comic book. 40,000 years ago, Cobra-La ruled the earth, and then there was an ice age, and then people started to learn technology, and apparently they couldn't learn technology. I don't know, but they didn't like it.
They rejected technology, right?
Yeah. So they retreated into the mountains.
It's like they like plant tech, but technology, yet they need the BET.
Yeah.
Irony can be pretty
It is. Irony is pretty ironic, yeah. Globulus was looking, as Cobra-La guys, he's about a young scientist and who had disfigured himself with this weird spore accident. And he had many eyes, apparently.
Yeah, that's the guy you want leading your troops, the guy that fucked up already. Yeah.
Go out into the world. Yeah, so he picked him to be the
Can I
Cobra.
ask a question? I have a question.
Ask it.
Why did he only have a mask with 2 eyes when he would be the hooded Cobra Commander? Like, that would really be bugging me if I had like 19 eyes on my face and I'm wearing a hood, It's sensitive.
Yeah.
I mean, would you still just see out those 2 eyes and everything else would be dark or a weird blue color?
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Like he could kind of see through the material, I guess, but still, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on.
Maybe they're like scratching his other eyeballs.
Yeah.
He's blinking.
Man,
so.
forget it. Oh.
Man,
Cutting all those holes though in his mask. It would just
Yeah.
Be like Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
on Halloween.
Also, when they showed around his eyes, it was clearly like flesh colored, but
Yeah, and he's sort of like a bluish color or something. Or green.
well, according to Hasbro, this is a different universe. Maybe
Well,
in this
he would-
universe
but-
he wears.
Makeup around his eyes to make
Oh,
him
okay.
human.
Oh, yeah.
There, where's my note
Okay.
prize?
Yeah, I will send you no price. I'll send you no. All right. Globulus also reveals his plan to send all those spores into space, and then the BET will cause them to ripen, and they will bathe the Earth in these whatever it is, spores, I guess, that will turn them into primitive, monstrosities, I think is the word he uses. Or something like that. And then Cobra-La will come back out and rule the world.
Why don't they just be happy with what they have? 'Cause-
I think it seemed to have a lot
we
of
got a whole
space.
Cobra-La
Yeah. Living in the mountains.
flying around and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Flying around
Globulus
in weird bugs.
He's very, he doesn't want to just take what he's given. He wants to get out there.
If I'm
Make
disconnected,
a
my
better
cat's
life.
crawling all over my laptop.
All right.
Sorry.
So, to show everybody how this works, they declare that Cobra Commander is guilty, and they give him some spores, and he turns all scaly, he rips his shirt open, and
He's
got,
jacked.
like,
Not
Yeah,
the
Jack.
stars.
yeah. And then his crotch is kind of all scaly too, just kind of weird. But hey, I guess snakes don't have willies.
I don't know. I never looked.
Yeah, I never did either.
And Pythona is kind of like, she's kind of like getting real close to Serpentor. Like, you like that? You like what you see there?
Why don't you break that
Turn
snake
you
up
on?
and make it all stiff again?
Take it
I
from
never-
around your neck.
I never thought of
Just
that.
like
before.
command.
So because Serpentor says, throw him in with the Joe prisoners. And she's like, I like that idea. Let's go. Get those snakes. Anyway, so yeah. Meanwhile, we do a quick
Aren't you
cut
a little tall for a serpent
for a weird
king?
Frankenstein man. Meanwhile, we're going to cut to Sergeant Slaughter and his renegades where Falcon is being dropped off because
Yeah, he's 170 pounds of air pollution.
that's a good line. Yeah. And it is, in fact, Sergeant Slaughter doing the voice of Sergeant Slaughter, which is good.
It's like kicked out of the helicopter. It's like
I know.
like-
Hope you make it.
I hope you don't get hit by the blades.
Yeah, they're really mad at Falcon. So, and now so we meet the renegades, Sergeant Slaughter's renegades. We called them Slaughter's Marauders, I think, but those were different guys. That was a different thing. But these are Slaughter's renegades, and Mercer, the guy who spits on the scorpion and kills it, which is pretty funny. He's in the comic. We were all pretty excited about that on our last episode. He also was a former Cobra Viper. And then there's
Yeah, to wipe the windows.
yes, that's right. So then there's another guy, Red Dog. He's like a football guy, they said, and Russian guy.
Sports guys in this. Oh, the dumb Russian.
Yeah, the dumb Russian. So that's nice. And then they make Falcon run. He's like, "You expect me to walk?" And he says, "No, you can run." That was kind of that's a good,
One of the
good job,
things that
Sarge.
always bugged me about Sergeant Slaughter is it definitely sounded like he was recorded at a different time in a different studio. He sounds like he's recorded in a real tinny sort of way, and it's always distracted me.
There are. I feel like there are lines that he doesn't even say. It's someone else's voice. Like only a couple of them.
This'll slow him down.
Well, in the credits, it says Sergeant Slaughter is portrayed by Sergeant Slaughter, so I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
No, I mean, I just mean like they probably couldn't get him back to do more like or something, and they just had someone else do it. It's only a couple lines, but his fee was probably a little more than other people's, you know?
Oh.
I like
Listen,
his
Thompson.
Sergeant Slaughter's little one-person tank thing. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
another
drive back
thing.
to the base.
It's like a
My
little buggy. It's like another impractical
Yeah.
thing to take at battle. It's like, oh, might as well just keep my head exposed so I don't.
It's got 2 bazooka rockets on the side and 4 wheels, and I'll see you later.
Sorry, back at Cobra. They're gonna throw Cobra Commander in there, and Roadblock says, "This is our chance. Let's dance," or whatever. He doesn't say that, but they try to escape in these big plant things.
Quick
Wrap 'em
uses
up.
only his feet to get out.
Yeah, but they wrap him up, and they sort of like it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something. These like vine things come and wrap him up. But Cobra Commander is telling Roadblock, "No, come with me. I can get you out of here." And he says, "Okay." And I guess just to give him another reason to be together, Nemesis Enforcer goes after Roadblock and blinds him with this weird thing, whatever it is. They have all these weird plant things. So,
It
Yeah,
reminds
more
me of,
like
those
spores,
mushrooms.
lightning spores.
blinding.
Yeah, I guess they Buzz said that it was fungus. It's all fungus based. All this
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like The Last
like-
of Us.
Yeah, the last
They must have got it from this.
You can't
Buzz
have
said it was-
fungus without the word fun.
I said it was like Dune, but fungus.
Hey. But yeah, I think it's really just a good thing to have. Roadblock needs him because Cobra Commander says, "I'll be your eyes."
He's got plenty of them. So
There you go.
I hate this Rev 2 Roadblock vest, by the way. If anyone was
me
asking
too.
in the poll, I like the original Roadblock.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wear
Yeah.
tank.
Oh, so much. Drives me crazy.
And so many of these people in this top secret organization, including Jinx, has the GIJoe logo on her sweatpants. He's got GIJoe right on his vest.
Hey, look at this Cobra Commander picture that Josh sent. That's awesome.
Oh, I didn't send it to John. I couldn't get it up on the
Couldn't get it up.
message thing. I couldn't get it up.
You need to talk to Pythona. That's
Need
great.
one of those snakes.
So, Sergeant Slaughter and Duke are having a little chat, and they're like, or maybe a talk. I don't know. They're like, all right. And he's like, we'll go check it out. They're like, go to the Terradrome and check it out. And Falcon says, how about we don't bring guns? Like, you idiot. Anyway, so they sneak into the Terradrome on Cobra Island. They find out the master plan. And then Falcon gets captured, but we get the classic, we all go home or nobody goes home.
Yeah, leave no Joe behind.
Yep, there you go.
Saving Private Falcon.
Lieutenant! Meanwhile, they blow up the whole fucking island, it looks like. I don't know, it's crazy. They rescue Falcon, they get on their boats, and they boat away, and then it looks like the entire island blows up completely. So, but then Serpentor comes out and says, we're gonna get them. So the next scene, they're attacking the headquarters. Well, not the headquarters. It's like they said, it's a civilian storage place where they're storing the PET. They're like, they'll never find us. Which, of course, the Baroness is always like the one like, I was just, but yeah, so they're attacking. And they have these big snakes. They're like the things from Tremors. Did you guys see? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This predates Tremors, though. Anyway. And they eventually, they get the PET. They're bringing it out. Falcon and Sergeant Slaughter and the Renegades show up after. It's like, where were you guys?
Do you want to hear the weirdest thing? Total side note.
Please.
I was just literally looking up Tremors to find the name of Fred Ward. Because he was in the movie, how was it called?
Remo Williams.
Remo Williams with the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I was going to make a reference to that earlier.
So it's like a weird, like, these Cobra-La planes that shoot weird little tentacle
Yeah, they're
things.
like bug.
They shoot
Planes.
calamari.
It sounds kind of like it's like,
They're like Avatar, Navi, fucking winged beast things.
yeah.
But
Really
don't worry,
weird.
Chuckles is on top of that helicopter with a pistol.
I know. It's like, you're going to shoot them all down. Why can't he get in that helicopter?
I don't
after
know. Why there's not enough room in there.
Helicopter can contain Chuckles.
I guess, yeah. But Hawk is doing his great, like, oh, yo, Joe, let's go. Like, it's like he's really rah here. Meanwhile,
He was like how you were introducing this episode.
that's right, I wasn't.
Energy level.
Yeah. So, anyway, Sir Duke shows up there. He's scuffling with Serpentor. Serpentor wants to, he's trying to get the PET. And then he's about to, so just like you said, John, he takes his snake and then he sort of straightens it or hardens it, maybe, should we say? I don't know.
Weird. It's a very weird move.
Yeah, it's not
He
something they
hymns.
ever did.
He uses his hymns. He hymns his snake.
Right.
We should get
Yep.
a sponsorship for him.
No.
Use the other guy's code.
Yeah, right. Use somebody else's podcast code to get 10% off. But yeah, he throws the snake. It hits Duke. Duke jumps in front of Falcon. It hits him right in the heart. I mean, and he dies. Like, he dies. Yeah, they have this whole thing. They're all sad. And the Cobra gets away. They even had a funeral, apparently, in some drafts. But they say you can't see anybody's mouth even say this, but they're like, Duke's gone into a coma. And they're all crying. He even has a thing where he's like, hey, I guess I can't watch out for you anymore, kid. Talking to Falcon. It's like, what?
And Scarlet's crying. Doc says he's in a coma.
Yeah.
But then when they pan out and they show the group shot, that's when they do the overdub. Like, Doc says he's gonna be okay.
They're like, he's in a coma, and they're crying. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a coma is not something to celebrate.
Oh, that's true.
No.
I mean, if you went into a coma right now, I'd be pretty sad.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
I don't know if I'd cry yet. I'd save the tears for later.
Yeah, I'd save it for when you actually die.
I would give you a yo, Joe.
That's all I want, actually. You don't have to cry, but I want you to, even though Hawk was crying when he said that.
And
There
Duke
was
feels all
another-
guilty. He's all, it's my fault. I was too slow. Damn it, dude. Again, with too slow.
Why didn't he, forget it. But there was another funny thing I forgot to mention in that fight. Before he throws the snake, he says, "Die, arrogant earth scum."
I say that someone cuts me off in traffic.
I mean, like, yeah, is Serpentor not of Earth? I guess. Maybe not.
It's like, if I ever told you that my youngest daughter, whenever we're at playgrounds and stuff, she'll be like, that human over there is looking at us. And I'm like, would you stop that? Like people are going to think we're aliens or something.
Cobra-La?
He's just like, that human's coming this way. And I'm like, stop doing that.
I guess, it's better than. It could be worse. It could be like that insufferable human scum or whatever you call it.
That insufferable boob is coming this way.
So anyways, yeah. GIJoe is at their lowest point. And so they get back to Cobra-La, they turn the BET on, it starts heating up the spores, and they're like, oh, that's the BET. Like, I thought there was going to be some kind of like, how did we get there? Where is Cobra? It's like, oh no, that must be it. Let's go. Like, but whatever. So, but when they get there, Roadblock and Cobra Commander had, found Flint and his guys, and they try to...
It's like slowly turning more into a snake as time goes on.
Yeah.
And it was a man.
Right.
It was
I know.
man.
We should talk about that. Yeah. He's more and more of a snake.
When I was saying in the last episode that it really lost me. I'm all on board for this movie, by the way.
Oh, all right.
But I was, from 1987 until 2023, I was like, yeah, this is not canon. How could Cobra Commander be a fucking reptile? That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. 2024 Clay, by the way, he embraces our snake underlords, But I always thought it was literally the dumbest thing, and we would always make fun of it in my old band. We would always say it was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But now I just think the dumbest thing in this movie is Roblox Fest.
So yeah, the
dumbest thing in this movie is Big Lob.
Big Lob is it's kind of dumb. Anyway, so yeah, they attack the big vines, just capture them. But Big Roadblock is, no man, they're, they'll eat you. Then he rhymes somehow. But Big Lob is the one, somehow he knocks.
He'll eat you. Don't let him beat you. Yeah.
All right, there we go. He like crashes his plane thing into the vines, and they all fall. And Joes just suddenly are revived, and they all have guns. Thankfully, I don't know.
And we're all trying
What
to
happened
beat
there?
the weird snake clock that Globulus has
Oh, that's right.
initiated with the little snake worm. By the
Snake worm
time
on the
this,
deck.
He calls it
snake
a
worm.
time worm or something.
yeah, the time worm, which is how we tell time here. It's like,
That's
hey,
like a
Globulus, what time is it? Well,
Yeah.
he's about 3/4 up the thing, and it's daylight savings time. So
He's got that thing. It's like a little stick. Meanwhile, so just to make it all even, Sergeant Slaughter, Jinx, and Falcon break into the throne room again. This is Galabus' throne room, so it's a little nicer. But
stocked with triple ply.
oh yeah, right.
the good stuff for Globulus.
The
That's how he
good
got his
stuff.
name.
So of course it's like the Jinx fights Pythona, Sergeant Slaughter, big guy versus big guys. He fights Nemesis Enforcers. Falcon fights Serpentor. I guess Globulus just has this power to just open a big hole in the floor to separate them. Because and there's another
He's
great
coming
moment
up
too.
his giant meatball too. Is that here?
Yeah, I think he's still in the meatball at this point. But Serpentor and Falcon are fighting, and he throws one of his snakes. He doesn't harden it, doesn't work it or anything. He just lets it choke Falcon out. And then Cobra Commander comes along, he doesn't have arms or legs anymore. He's just a snake. He fights the other snake.
Where do the snakes come from after he throws them?
I don't know. They just come right out his back.
Out of his bag, yeah. He's got a backpack under his cape filled with.
Maybe they come out of his butt from the backside up.
Oh, there you go. Are they like real snakes? Like, are these real?
I think so.
Oh, all right.
I don't know why, but
Of course they're real.
No, I mean, I thought they were some kind of floppy spear type thing.
But they're not floppy.
So many creatures.
Sometimes they're not.
There's so many creatures down in Cobra-La, so maybe they just replicate on, like when you cut a worm in half or something.
Reptiles.
All right. Well, I'll go with that. It's a Cobra-La thing. So, yeah, he ends up beating Serpentor by putting his cape into his little sled thing. Like, it eats him up. And then he has to fight Galabulus, and this rating comes out of the meatball, and he's got a tail in there. And
yeah, I remember the bigger. He was like, he had like a wire or something in there, so you could bend him into.
Yeah. So
that he came with the meatball.
Falcon stabs him with his own time thing, his watch, essentially. And then he's like, it's too late. The spores.
See, I could tell by the worm. It's too late.
Yeah. Well, I love he's got like a TV.
2:30 too late.
And he's he's watching this big screen that's, even though they're all organic, matter and everything, there's like a screen that's showing the spores ripening in space. He's like, I'm out of here. And he flies away on his meatball. And Falcon decides, I'll just turn on the juice and fry the spores. Does it just go all over the world? Okay. Sure. Don't question it.
If that's the biggest plot hole in this movie, you're doing pretty good.
In a scientific sort of no prize way, if they launched the spores from Cobra-La and they're rocketing up to cover the world, which is impossible, and the BET is there, he just needs to fry them, he just needs to intercept it, like the Star Wars missile program in the 80s. Thank you, Ronald Reagan.
I guess. I mean, they were pretty sure that they were going to infect everyone on Earth.
That's
all right, Clay. All right, you're right.
I think that's fine.
Maybe it is directional. Maybe it isn't everywhere. Maybe like when they were just testing it, they were just testing it out in the middle of the cold because they didn't want it to explode near people. So it really is aimable. We're going to go with, I think that it's aimable.
Aimable.
Big bounce off satellites.
Okay. All right.
These
are good. These are very good.
And Cobra-La was supposed to be originally deep in the earth or something, and then Buzz was like, why don't we have it be like in Antarctica or somewhere a little bit more realistic? So, Himalayas. Let's say Himalayas.
Yeah.
So that's what they landed on. My friend Buzz. I keep saying Buzz. Buzz said this, Buzz said that.
Our friend. Yeah. You had a nice chat about it.
Well, when we talked to him, you guys were talking about the movie, and I was like, yeah, what? What are you talking about? But now I listened to it back, and I was like, oh, yeah. All right.
How you're
going.
So Falcon as he's frying the spores in space, he blow, and he's like, get out of here. And he says, we all go home or nobody goes home. And he whips Jinx around with his belt. And he grabs onto her ankles to pull her across this, pull them both across this.
They really reconcile and have a tender moment holding hands and everything. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. All I can think of, though, as I'm watching this is the original ending was Duke was dead. And here he is making time with his lady. Anyway, the whole Cobra-La, almost completely blows up, and all the Joes are just like, wow, that was great. So I don't know what happened to all the Cobra guys that were there, but they looked like all the bugs and stuff were like dead. They were also doing a weird thing I kind of skipped over. They were trying to shoot them, and then when they would get close, they would just hit them with the gun. Fuck this!
You know I'm a horrible close shot.
But anyway, yeah, so they're all celebrating. The spores are burnt up. And then we get a dub in of Doc's voice. Good news. Duke's come out of his coma. He's gonna be A-okay.
Yo, Joe. What else would you say to that?
I mean, that's
Yo, Joe.
Oh, Joe.
If anything deserved a Yo Joe from everybody, that certainly does, you know?
That's right.
Yeah.
An edited in later line about Duke coming out of his coma.
It also says, men, Duke's going to be okay. It's like, well, fucking Scarlet and Jinx are there. Men and ladies,
sorta.
everybody,
Right.
folks.
Lady
Like,
J.
say, hey,
Cover
guys.
girl.
Yeah. Or like,
Yep.
maybe not, I'm sorry, John, maybe not guys, maybe folks. Folks.
Yeah, I
You
think
know, like
can only
Obama
say
style.
folks
Folks.
now. I think, yeah. you gotta
Duke's
say
going to be
folks.
okay. I didn't mean
Guys.
to shame you, John. I wasn't. That wasn't
Hey,
my
how about,
Hey, dudes.
Bro,
Yo, dudes.
hey, bro, Duke's gonna be okay. So, anyway, and then Falcon and Jinx have a nice moment, and he says like thanks, brother, or something. He even says another thing like about
Yeah,
lead you to think that Duke is dead.
yeah, and then they show a scene of Duke and God hanging out in heaven, looking down,
like-
and they say, he's like, I thought you were
Duke
in a
winks, and then God
Yeah.
winks. They both wink.
It's just it's even as a kid, I was like, I don't think that's right. You know, like,
Something
Some
feels
things.
off.
like I was probably 12 or whatever when I saw this movie, and I was like, huh, Duke's come out of his coma. That doesn't seem like something that I don't think
That
that
doesn't
what
seem
they
like
meant.
something Duke would do.
Well, I mean, it just seemed fishy to me. You know, you couldn't just go Google it or anything. But, yeah,
I bet when I
Anyway.
saw it as a kid, or even like later on, I just thought that he died and didn't pay attention that it said that he was in a coma. You know what I mean? I was always like, oh, Duke's dead. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just like,
That's pre-2024 Clay appreciates GIJoe the movie, Clay. So
yeah, true. I was just
Right.
like, oh, I killed
how
Duke.
does
I
current
guess.
Slate feel about it now?
But back then, I probably was to kill Duke for good. Fuck that guy. Okay.
I don't, man, you were really hawk all the way.
I was a Hawk guy, and I was a Hawk guy, and it was even more. I think I mentioned this before. I'm a Flint guy. I like Flint a lot. Like a
I
lot.
like berets.
I'm a beret guy.
Yeah. Well, obviously you like the ninjas too, because you have the
Yeah,
tattoo.
I like
Why
the
did you get
ninjas.
Flint's face tattooed on you?
Oh, I got a beret tattooed on my head.
Just a beret.
Imagine that, like a bald guy with a beret tattooed on their head. There's got to be one. I gotta look. I'm gonna go.
I'll go for it. I'll be the first one. Anyways, yeah, they end with like a dun 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 and Yo Joe. And that's the end of GIJoe the movie. And as I said, it did not spark anything. There was a short series 2 years later that had nothing to do with this, I think, right?
No, it picked up.
The
It was by
Deke
Dick.
ones?
Deke, yeah.
Oh, did
Which was
And Cobra
like,
Commander comes back to human or something. So he's okay. He's
Well, that's
okay.
he's going to be A-okay, man.
I just look. Cobra Commander's come out of his coma.
They put that was the one with the metal Cobra Commander suit, right?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
largely panned, and I guess they approached Buzz Dixon, and they were like, and he was like, "Sure, why don't you pay me what Sunbow is paying me?" And they were like, "Okay, just write that number down, slide it across the table. We'll take a look at that." And nope, we can't pay you, and goodbye. So he never wrote for that series and has nothing to do with it. Mostly, talk about not canon.
Yeah, right. I didn't even remember it until I watched a YouTube video in preparation for.
Well,
Talking about-
we talked about this a long time ago, and Josh was like, "We should do this and call it "Don't Be a Deke" or something like that."
Oh my god, it's hilarious!
I remember that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do it. We'll finally get around to it.
Oh man, it's a rough watch. I think I made it through half an episode, and I was like, this is terrible.
Lots of people with berets tattooed on them, but nobody has like a beret tattooed on their head.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through that now too.
Wow. It's going to happen then. I will shave my head and get a beret tattooed. Then the hair will go back and it'll look even weirder.
The Flint?
Just grow it on the sides.
Oh, the
It's not
hair?
hard.
Oh.
Yeah, so it looks like you're still wearing a beret.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Very good. What? Well, what do we think about this movie that like was supposed to start a whole new franchise and it didn't? Like, what do you?
Well, I'm glad it didn't.
It's kind of the end of the Sunbow years, right? I mean, we all watched GIJoe, the TV show, and this is kind of the last season had wrapped, and then they made this, and that's it, right?
Well, yeah, they would show this in 5-part. Like this was like sometimes they would show this in 5 parts on the afternoon, like Monday through Friday.
Produced by Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, I remember that. He kind of would last week, and I remember they said that Duke was poisoned. That was what he said. Duke was poisoned by one of Serpentor's snakes, but I don't think they said. Was he dead? Is he alive? Who knows? But
who's to say?
Yeah. Who's to say? I think we know what Clay thinks of it. What do we?
Well, do you want me to start with my final thoughts? I can go the first this time.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, do it.
And the summary and the letter grade. As I've said before that I was never really a fan of this, despite watching G.I. Joe and Transformers every day when I got home from school. I don't know if just the time, I'd never watched it on home video. I guess I probably watched it in increments, like you said, when they would show it like that. But I always just thought that because Cobra Commander, he was once a man, he's always been a man to me. And that he turned into a snake, I just thought it was the dumbest thing in the world. And I really discounted this thing forever. And yeah, admittedly, I'm a simpleton. The Cobra Commander comic that is kind of like based on some of this stuff. I was literally asking you guys questions about what is this Cobra-La stuff and everything like about the comic. But so I bought it and I've watched it maybe 4 or 5 times since
Wow.
a couple weeks ago, just because I wanted to be like, oh, those guys are gonna know it a bunch, and like I don't really.
Yeah,
know
I
it.
didn't even watch the movie again, and
Wow.
because I knew it well.
As far as I really enjoyed it because 2024 Clay is embracing Cobra-La and this thing, and the fact that it is kind of like an alternate just version of G.I. Like the TV G.I. Joe was definitely different than what was in the comics portrayed and everything. Like I like Larry Hama's vision of G.I. Joe as my main source, but this is good movie. As I'm
It's a good movie.
I'm regretting like hating on it so much, really. But it's still not going to give it. I'm not going to give it an A+ or anything. I give it a B+. It's a good animated movie, and I like all the. We got like Frank Welker in there and everything. Like we got the. It just brings me back to the time of enjoying the series, even though it is kind of like on the cusp of like, I don't know about these colorful new characters. I don't know about them. That they still seem new to me, even though they're 30 years old. But still, I like this movie. I give it a B+.
Oh, all right. Very good. All right. Who's next? I can go. I'm not just passing this off.
I can go.
All right.
You want me to go?
G.I. Josh. The floor
All right.
goes. Pass the beret over to the talking beret, whatever we call. Sorry.
After watching it again, I think it sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I still like it a lot. I'm kind of with Clay, though. I think it's probably going to be like a B or maybe like a B+. It definitely like nostalgia. Like I love it. Like I remember all the lines, and it's just so surprising. I must have watched it like a gajillion times when I was a kid, because like to remember all that stuff, like every time, like everything that happened, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I remember these lines. It's crazy. But
Yeah, I think I kind of see that too. Like, I must have just rented it 100 times. I must have had it on tape somewhere. I must have had a
Yeah,
copy of it.
You
I
probably
think I recorded it
it's
after
on.
school because I remember having the Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
Falcon.
I must have like, yeah, made a copy of it, like illegally. Sorry, like because I did watch it a lot, but like I don't like. It's so weird, like to think back, be like watch the movie over and over, and I didn't love it. It's a fun thing to talk about now, but I think even at the time,
Yeah, I'm with you.
yeah,
At the time, I thought it was fine. I think I just liked it because the animation was better than the show.
yeah,
Because
what?
Transformers the movie I legitimately loved, but this I think I liked the idea of it, but didn't actually like the execution of it as much.
Yeah, I kind of think like I get what you're doing, even as like I said, even as a 12-year-old, but like you're changing things up a lot. Like I even was mad. I was like, Cobra Commander. I was like, I thought he was cool. What are you doing? Like bringing in all the new stuff. Like we said, like the Havoc and the His Tank, like replacement and stuff like that. But like, I mean, whatever. I get it. It's a toy. But yeah, like it is interesting. Like it did the same. It's almost the same as Transformers. The idea of it, like we're gonna do this whole thing. Optimus Prime, Megatron gone. It's Rodimus Prime and Galvatron now. But it was still kind of the same idea, you know.
Yeah,
But
shake
now
things
it's
up.
yeah, but now it's like, oh, Cobra-La is like has been behind this everything all along. Whatever. I don't know. But whatever. I was a little kid. And so I watched it over and over and over again. And just like you said, Josh, I remembered the story beats. I remembered the dialogue. And now watching it now, I'm like, it's fine. It's fun, but I don't know. I'm not. I don't know if B plus seems a little high. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a little higher than me. I'm gonna go. I think I'd still go in like the beauty. I mean, nostalgia. It's mostly nostalgia.
Right.
It was just fun. I mean,
Yes.
really, I must have seen it since I was a kid because I own the DVD. So
Well, I can't remember the last time I watched it. Yeah,
yeah.
That's probably a good point. I as Clay probably remembers that we had that one. I found a VHS copy in my parents' house that had never been opened.
Check out our sell it now.
Yeah,
That's funny. You found it at your parents' house. You've seen it a million times, but that copy had never been opened.
yeah. I think I bought it like near the like when I bought it, it was already kind of old, and I bought it like it must have been like a store closing or something. And I was like, oh, look at this, GIJoe the movie. It was probably like a couple dollars. But
It was because the next week they outlawed VHSs.
it probably was around that time. Yeah. I don't remember buying it, but if it was at my parents' house, it must have been like, I don't know, like a long time ago. I haven't lived at my parents' house for a while, obviously. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, but it was still fun. I guess I liked it enough to watch it and memorize it. Yeah, I don't know what grade it would be. I guess a B minus. I don't know for the nostalgia. John,
Yeah, I give it a B.
Oh, very good.
Flat B.
For the reasons I stated. I liked the idea of it, the execution not as much, but the quality of animation was pretty good. And
Yeah.
I liked the fact that they were trying to change things up. I just didn't like some of the things they changed. So B. I don't have much to add because you guys are pretty much everything.
I was going to mention in the episode, because I wrote it down, I really like, just to concur with you about the animation, I really like the rendering and the drawing. It really looks good. Like it's a step up from the show, and it's not quite like a comic book on the page, but like, you just look at like a close-up of Falcon or Serpentor and the classic Cobra Commander with the when I would draw like Cobra Commander, like, oh, it's chrome, so I'll draw like a little swirly black stripe down his face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's good.
Russ Heath was one of the character designers, and he was the one that illustrated that. I think it was issue 24 of GIJoe, the one where Cobra Commander escapes.
Yeah.
So I think Bruce Timm might have been a storyboard artist for GIJoe.
Oh, really?
Could be wrong about that. That's why he simplified the designs for the Batman animated series, because he worked on GIJoe, I think, because he was like all these pockets and stuff you got to draw in. So.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at a friend of the show, Tim Finn's A Real American Book blog, just looking up Russ Heath, and yeah, he did the character design for Pythona, and like a lot of stuff. Field manual, and there's an issue. I don't know. It doesn't say what issue it is, but yeah.
How about that? Bruce Timm. So I guess we're not the only ones who are nostalgic or whatever about this movie. Like we said, the Skybound, Joshua Williamson is writing these GIJoe books for Skybound, and he put this origin of Cobra Commander in his book. And also Mercer is in Duke #1. So we're all excited about that. They mentioned Galop. No, I guess they did show Galopulus, but he doesn't have his meatball, so that's good. But
he's kind of like shaded out a little bit. He could be sitting on a whole pile of meatball, a whole dinner's worth of meatballs.
I guess he could be. You're right. But
yeah, it's definitely in this kind of forest of like weird alien trees, fungus trees or whatever. Like they're in Cobra-La, like the Cobra-La from the movie.
But they don't really call it that. But yeah, Cobra Commander does get the sword.
I do.
Oh, do they? Do they call it? Maybe you're right. But it's interesting that they chose that. I don't know. Like, I found that weird. Maybe not weird. I guess it's cool in a way. Comic books went through that phase where everything had to be like real. You know what I mean? Yeah. So now it's just going to be like, yeah, there's a weird society of snake people that live in the Himalayas. We're going with that.
I like sci-fi.
It's bridging the gap for me. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of brings me into wanting to enjoy this movie. After really hating it for so long.
I am glad. I like 2024 Clay enjoying GIJoe the movie, so I like it. I'm on board with it.
Maybe it is
other planets without having snake men in the Himalayas.
Really. Yeah, it's like you believe all the Transformers. And then I was like, I forget who wrote it, but I always thought that Larry Hama wrote Transformers versus GIJoe, but it's somebody else.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sure he had some input. Maybe they would just sit around the bullpen back in the day. I mean, I guess you're right. It doesn't make any sense. But as a kid, I thought, I liked GIJoe, the comic book and stuff, and I wanted it to be kind of, maybe, even though I just chastised comic books, but I kind of liked that was like the down-to-earth thing. And then, but I did also like Transformers, which are robots from another planet. So, I mean, I was an enigma.
Michael Higgins wrote that.
Oh, very well.
You can tell there's a difference in the original Marvel GIJoe Transformers. They have thought bubbles, and there was never really thought bubbles in GIJoe.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
But I didn't exactly pick it up then. But
now, like, nobody has thought bubbles. Anywho, so yeah, if you're into the new comic, check out GIJoe the movie. If you're into GIJoe the movie, check out the new comic. It's win-win.
And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, not a ton, but there's some cool videos out there, like who's Globulus, like who's Serpentor, like that explain it like from the animated version. And I had fun researching this one. It was a blast.
Oh, I'm glad. It was fun to go down memory lane here.
Yeah, maybe B+ is even a little high for me. Maybe it is a B, but it was good. I mean, it was definitely a good movie. I thought it was great.
Let's all just say B and give it a yo, Joe.
Yo,
Give it a yo,
We're
Joe.
out. All right.
Yo, Joe.
Yo,
Joe.
Yo,
Joe.
Joe. So keep your snake stiff out there and somebody else's podcast code.
Militarily speaking, it's only fair to say that Cobra Commander is a world-class buffoon.
Get rid of that thing!
We thought you were playing, Beachhead. He's usually quite obedient.
I hope you both get fleas.
We got a bargain. To play it straight, or there's no doubt I'll turn your eyeballs inside out.
Neatly done, sister. I trust your mission was equally well executed.
Duke took the film in my camera, but not in my earrings.
Nemesis Enforcer, fetch Cobra Commander.
When I'm through, Scuzzbucket, they're gonna scrape you off the walls with a squeegee.
Hello.
Adios, adios, adios!
Unsubstantiated fantasy! Lies! Lies! Lies!
As my blind ninja master used to say, the keenest eye is that which looks inward.
Cobra-La!
I'll save my bones for Davy Jones.
Surprisingly, they evolved.
If you ask me, some of them did not evolve.
It's time you learn we're a team, Red Dog. We all go home or nobody goes home.
The lamb sucker's been cut. How you spicing?
Nothing like a little on-the-job training. Ugh. Even their Air Force is ugly. Die, arrogant Earth scum!
Look at what dropped in, brothers. 170 pounds of air pollution.
I've seen putty with more backbone.
Hey!
I do not like his face. Let us remove it, yes? Hey, this is your faceplate. Was my mask, just as I was once a man.
First one to say anything about my being bad luck gets a knuckle massage.
Prepare for eternity.
Be silent or be silent.